All right, salam alaikum. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Another episode of the Mr. Islam Answers Back show live. Sorry I wasn't able to keep my Sunday schedule. Um, you guys already know what it is, right? You already know what it is. So this is the free time that I had, so I'm trying to use it to utilize the time wisely. So we'll see. Inshallah, we'll try to get back on track, with the Sunday 8 o'clock show. But until then, I just have to put it in, put them in whenever I get the chance to do it. Before we start, let me go ahead and send out some tweets and let everyone know that we are live on the air. So bear with me as we send out the tweets. All right, we're just going to send out a couple of tweets to make sure everybody knows that we're live on the air right now. All right. You know what? I need to send it out straight from the. Hold on a second. So people can come straight. Tweet it out straight from the page. All right, let's tweet it out straight from here. All right, there we go. All right, so I just wanted to make sure that my voice was on the record, being heard, speaking out against the situation that's going down on the border of the United States, where those who are attempting to come into the country are seeking asylum, uh, whether they're trying to cross the border illegally or not, whatever the case is, that about the children being separated from their parents, being put in cages, which are similarly being described uh, by those who have actually seen them as concentration camps. And there's this, and since this has been going on since last year, right? People have been, and even since Trump got into office, there's this thing going around with people like, this is not the America I know. This is not the America I know. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? To me, this is the America that I know. when you look at America's history, this is the America that I know. So I don't know what these people are talking about, that this is not the America that they know. Like, what the hell are you talking about? If you have checked America's history, this is exactly the America that you're supposed to know. But you see, what the problem is that so many people are fed this patriotic propaganda lie, that America is the good guy and they haven't done anything wrong, and these slogans of freedom, justice, and equality, and liberty for all, and all that nonsense. That that's the image of America in their minds, right? That's the image of America in their minds. Whereas the reality is completely different. The reality of American history shows that it has not been for freedom, justice, and equality for all people. The reality is that America has a white racist history. The reality is that America has mistreated various groups of people, particularly people of color, with the exception of a few ethnic white groups like the Irish or Jews or Italians, right? But of course, as we know history, later those groups got accepted as whites with the rest of the whites, and then they all ganged up on their main target, which was people of color, right? Which was people of color. So to me, when I hear people say this is not the America they know, I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Have you forgotten America's history, or are you ignoring America's history? Because if you look at America's history, again, this is the America that you should know, right? This is the America that you should know. America put Japanese Americans in camps. So what are you talking about? This ain't the America. This is not the America you know, right? They have a history of mistreating people of color. Right? It has a history of racism against people of color, mistreating them in various ways, whether it be taking land, killing them, discrimination, putting them in camps and stuff like this. That is the America that you're supposed to know. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to be on record with my limited power that I have. Unfortunately, I don't have any political power. I don't have any financial power. So as it is said in Islam, that if you can't change it with something that's wrong with your hands, then speak out against it at least. So at least I'm using my power to speak out against it. I want to be on record in history that I was not one of the Americans that agreed with or went along with the mistreatment of the Latino children and families down by the border. So what America does, I don't want to go down in history as an American who stood by and did nothing. The least I can do is speak out against it. It's wrong. It's horrible. It's horrendous. And what's her name? AOC, Alexandria Cortez, who is in Congress now. She described them as concentration camps, and she's right. Right, she's right. Wa alaikum salam, brother Muhammad Zakaria. Right, she's right. These are like concentration camps. You see, and this is how these Western races go down the rabbit hole. That's how it happened in Nazi Germany. It starts off where they put the charge on whoever the target group is. Right, then they start rounding them up. They put them in the camps. The German public sits by, does nothing. Maybe there were, I have to do some history on that. Maybe there were some Germans who were against it. Either that or they kept silent and didn't say anything. But your silence is your concession to it. If you didn't speak out, then no, you were complicit. You know what I'm saying? You were complicit in it. So it starts off like that, and then before you know it, they have them in the camps. Then they start the genocide, the killing, the torture, the putting them in the gas chambers, and then later on, history exposes you and your people and your nation as having committed this horrendous act. So as I said, I want to be on the record in history of saying that I was one of the Americans that spoke out. The least I could do was speak out. I have no political power. I have no financial power. So I can speak. At least let my voice be on the record that I spoke out against it. I said I wasn't with it. I don't support it. I condemn it. It's wrong. It's horrible. So at least that's the least I could do. But like I said, for people claiming that this is not the America they know, I don't know what the hell America you talking about. See, but as I said, a lot of people are filled with this fantasy image of America. That it's like some type of patriotic mind brainwashing that they're given. That America, and I almost fell for that when I was younger. Yeah, when I was younger, very patriotic, right? Because that's how they indoctrinate you, right? They indoctrinate you into the schools, and they fill your heads with the George Washingtons and the Thomas Jefferson, and they fought for liberty and justice, freedom. But they don't fill in the details. They don't tell you that was really for white people, right? They don't tell you that part. They don't tell you that while George Washington was fighting for freedom for themselves, that the Native Americans' land was being taken, and they don't tell you that black people were kept as slaves, looked upon as inferior to whites, right? There's statements that you can read of Thomas Jefferson, statements you can read of many of the founding fathers and presidents even after them, even Abraham Lincoln, the so-called emancipator. You read his statements about how he felt about the difference between blacks and whites. You see? But they don't, we're not told that. They brainwash you. You see? So I could see how people could come up and be like, oh, this is not the America that I know. But when you really know its history, then you won't stay there. You'll say, yeah, this is exactly the America that we know. This being done has been done before. Right? This has been done before. This type of thing, maybe not necessarily with children, but this has been done before where they've, mistreated groups of people. I'm from a group of people that have been mistreated. I'm a black American. So I know how they treated my people here in America. Right? You can speak to an indigenous American and they can tell you how their people were treated. You can speak to a Japanese American and they'll tell you how their people were treated. So yes, indeed, this is the America that you're supposed to know. Right? You're supposed to know that. So you gotta get out of that brainwashing that you're in and face the facts that this is the America that you're supposed to know. Its history bears it out. You know what I'm saying? So as I said, this is just a short show. I'm not going to take too much time, but I just wanted to express my voice, my condemnation of what the government is doing by having those children being put in cages. And now they're debating on the news about how they're being neglected. They're not being given, the basic necessities. They say they're not being given toothbrushes, and they're not allowed to wash, and they're not given soap, and you know what I mean? So basically, they're it's a concentration camp. Same thing. It's basically like, yo, let them suffer, and understand that this is part of the white racist agenda. Everybody, I want you to understand that this was happening to those kids down there and those families. That's part of white racism. They don't see these Latinos as white people, right? Even though, strangely, interesting enough, many Latinos in America, not all, but many, identify themselves as white, right? Once they get to the country, there's many articles that show a lot of Latino Americans, Hispanic Americans choose to identify themselves with the whites. They want to align themselves with the whites, unfortunately. But that happens a lot. You get people who, they want to be associated with the people who are dominant in society. Rather than looking at how the dominant society are racist and mistreat people, instead of saying, well, I don't want to identify with them. Many of them, unfortunately, want to identify with the people in power, who unfortunately are the ones who are the perpetrators of this racism. But this is a wake-up call for them, though, right? This is a wake-up call for many Latino Americans. This is your wake-up call to let you see that when it comes down to it, the dominant society does not see you as white with them. They don't see you as us. So you can identify on the census or whatever as white all you want. It's clear that they don't see you as white. This mistreatment that they're doing to your people, they don't see you as white. Even if you can be a Latino who's against the immigration and all that, because there are some Latinos like that. We saw Latinos for Trump, Muslims for Trump. All these people want to try to identify with the white power structure. But when it comes down to it, you all have your wake-up call that they don't like you, right? They don't consider you to be amongst them. They don't consider you to be white. As I told you before, there's been Muslims who with the Republican Party, and they got they got discriminated against. There was one, I think it was in Texas, right? The Texas Republican Party, they didn't want the Muslim brother to be. He was he was going to be the head of the Republican committee in that state, the local Republican committee, and they didn't want him to be. They said they didn't trust him. That's your wake-up call to let you know you can try to kiss their ass all you want. You can try to identify with the white power structure all you want, but they're going to let you know that they do not accept you amongst them. And that's exactly what happened to that brother, trying to align himself with the Republican. I'm not a Democrat either. I don't align with either party. I'm independent. So I'm not saying he should identify, but I'm letting you see. But the Republicans are the ones who are the more blatantly discriminatory and mostly show the racism, right? Democrats too. Don't be fooled by that. The Democrats is like Malcolm X said. They're the sheep in wolf clothing, so they practice their racism in another way. They won't be openly racist, but they'll pass laws and things that'll support that kind of stuff, right? Whereas the Republicans, at least the Republicans, they let you know where they stand, right? They let you know their bigotry outright. They're not going to try to smile in your face. But strangely enough, many immigrant Muslims try to identify with the Republicans. Strangely enough, a lot of immigrant Muslims from the Middle East and India and all that, Pakistan, they try to align themselves with these people, and they telling you to your face they don't like you. But you go ahead and keep trying to kiss ass, and they're going to keep letting you know that you're not one. You can be Republican all you want. They don't like you. They don't trust you. But that's your fault. That's your fault. And same thing with the Latinos. We had Latinos for Trump. Latinos who don't like the immigrants and all that same thing. Kissing ass. Right? Trying to align themselves with the white power structure. But look how they do your people. Look how they let you know that you are not accepted amongst them. Your skin could be lighter, but they letting you know you're not really white. They're not letting you in. And this mistreatment of the children down at the border is definitely a part of white racism. You better believe it is. That's why they're doing it. You think if those kids were Polish immigrants, Italian immigrants, at least in modern day time, we know that how they did them back in the days. But nowadays, do you think in this modern day time, if those kids were white immigrants from some European country, do you think they'd be treated like that? No. No, they would not be treated like that. But this is white supremacy right here. This is white racism showing itself, the way they're treating those kids. Right? Because they call it the browning of America. There's too many of these brown and black people coming from South America into America, and whites are afraid of them changing the demographics of America. But it's going to happen anyway, America. I told you, it's going to happen anyway. I posted something a few weeks ago. I've shown it many times over the years. There's reports that keep showing you, statistics that keep showing, or statistic growth projections, that by like the year 2030, 2040, 2050, whites in America are going to become the minority. So it's going to happen anyway, right? Chickens coming home to roost. The wrong you have done is coming back on you. It's coming back on you. That this and like I always say, be thankful that it's going to happen peacefully. That it's a peaceful turnover. That peacefully you will no longer be the dominant people in this country that your ancestors robbed and stole. Be thankful that it's going to happen peacefully rather than through bloodshed. That just by naturally, by an act of God, by an act of Allah, He's turning it back over to the people. He's going to allow the people to whom you've harmed, He's going to allow them to become the dominant in this nation. But by peaceful means. Ain't that something? By peaceful and natural means, because you're not having enough, you're not fertile enough. So be thankful that it's going to happen peacefully. Be thankful. You know, there's that, what's that lady's name? Laura Ingraham. You know, they've been talking about her, some of the statements she's made, because she's talked about this, about how, you know, those of you who are in the United States, you remember when they had the thing that happened in Charlottesville, when all the white racists were marching with their tiki torches, shouting the Jews will not replace us and all that stuff like that. So all she did, Laura Ingraham is on Fox News. She said that, you know, she was talking about the immigrants coming. She said the immigrants are trying to replace us. So basically it's the same rhetoric. It's the same language, except she substituted Jews for immigrants. These immigrants are trying to replace us. These immigrants from South America, they're trying to replace us, and we, meaning her, white people, they can't let that happen. They can't let that happen. So Trump and his administration has implemented these policies in which I guess they want to, well, not I guess that, they want to make it as uncomfortable as possible for these people trying to come to the United States. So that way word gets back to say, hey, look, man, don't try to go to the United States. If you go to the United States, they're going to separate you from your children. And your children are going to be put in camps. And your children are not going to have any necessities. They're going to be, they won't be able to wash, brush their teeth, bathe. They're going to be neglected, sitting in these cages. All right? So that's exactly what this is. This is being done intentionally, because they want the message to be sent that, look, don't come here. If you come here, we're going to separate you from your children. If you come here, your children are going to be put in cages, and you're going to be taken somewhere else, and you won't see your children, and your children won't see you. You see? So this is being done intentionally. This is white racism intentionally letting these brown people suffer, so that way they can say, hey, look, stop coming here. Because if you come here, you're not going to get a warm welcome. So this is by design. This is what they're doing. These kids in cages, this is by design. And like I said, like the title of today's show is, this is the America that I know. This is the white racist America that I know. But it's coming back on you, America. It's coming back on you. Your own projections tell you that by 2030, 2040, 2050, you will be the minority in this country. And I would say, if you want to make sure that what you and your ancestors have done to the people of color, who will become the dominant, don't do to you what you and your forefathers did to them, I suggest you start to make amends. I suggest you start to make amends before that time comes, because you don't want it to turn back around and start to happen to you. So I really suggest that you start to make amends, and you start to do something about this racism, this police brutality, what they're doing to the children on the border. I suggest on the southern border. I suggest that you make amends before it's too late, because I could see it. I could see it coming back on you. If you don't make an amends, if you don't have some type of peace and reconciliation, give reparations to black Americans, and stop this police brutality, stop this racism, stop this putting the kids in cages stuff, that I could foresee a future where, when you do become the minority, that these groups that you neglected, abused, mistreated, discriminated against, brutalized, that they could now turn around and start to do the same thing to you when you become the minority. And you don't want that. When these groups become part of the government, because you're going to be the minority. So when they become more in the government, like you see already happening, you already see the Ilhan Omars, you already see the Alexandria Cortez, black Muslim, Latina, Hispanic woman. More will get in there, and then they'll be in control of the government. You don't want that. You don't want what you did and what you do and did to come back on you. So make amends now before it's too late. Make amends now before it's too late. But again, as I said, I just wanted to make sure that my voice is on the record. That when this goes down in history, when this time period is remembered in history, just like we remember what Nazi Germany did to the Jews and to the white Jews in Germany and others. When they look back on history and they look back to this time period, in addition to all the other stuff that America has done, I want to make sure that I am on the record. If YouTube is still around, or whatever, there's files, digital, whatever, however it's done, I want to make sure that Mr. Islam Answers Back, Shadi Lewis, is on the record as having spoken out against this, right? Because I speak out against all the other stuff. I want to make sure that I'm on the record as speaking. I am not one of the Americans who agreed with this. I condemn it. So I want to make sure that I want it to be out, that I'm on the record, that I was on the record. I spoke out. Again, unfortunately, I don't have any political power. Unfortunately, I don't have any financial, economic power. But I do have a voice, however small it is, but I'm on the record speaking out against this. All right? And wait a minute, let me see. Before we close out, let's see. What's this question here? Why do black women feel bad when black men date white women, but black women don't feel bad when black men date? Bro, that's more like of a non-Islamic issue right there. You know what I mean? That's not really an Islamic issue. So, one other thing that I want to talk about, though, before I sign out, speaking on the bigotry and racism, have you guys seen this this new video by David Wood? It was made a few days ago. It was made on the 24th, right? A few days ago. Have you guys seen it? I just wanted to speak of, since we're talking about races here, I wanted to show it to you guys. So you could see the racism that I'm talking about. It has the dude that I debated some years ago, Vocab Malone. Now look at this. I already sent him a tweet on Twitter, in addition to making a comment under the section of this video. That look at this punk racist bastard. That's right, I'm using strong language. If he, like I said, if he did this, if he dressed up as a Jew and was trying to make fun of the Jews, people will call this bigotry. Right? People will call this bigotry racism. If he tried to dress up as a stereotypical black person, people would say, hey, that's racist, you're making fun of blacks. But look at the dumbass dressing up like an Arab, fake beard on, got the bomb strapped around. Why is this not bigotry and racism just the same? Is this not a type of bigotry and mockery of the Arabs and Muslim people? Right? So you a punk, Vocab. You a punk, bro. Fake ass wannabe rapper. Right? That's right. I'm using that strong language. You a punk, fake ass wannabe rapper. Trying to use the culture of another people. Right? Got the nerve to be trying to imitate and use the culture of another people, black people in particular. And now your punk bigot ass is gonna sit up here and dress up, put on some costume like an Arab with a bomb on. Really? Really, bro? But the funny thing about it is that they wanna preach the love of Christianity to it. They want to preach the love of Christ to us, though, right? You think I'm gonna become a Christian? You think this is gonna make any serious Muslim or even a sincere person who's Muslim go to Christianity? When you making mockery, you showing your bigotry and your racism, right? Ain't that something? Look at this jackass. Look at this jackass. Look at him. But you guys want to be taken seriously? Dude, as I said in the comment, yo, if I ever do another debate in your town or your city or you there, do not come up to me coming with this handshaking fake friendship, because I'm gonna tell you to get the hell out my face. Straight up. I'm gonna tell you to get the hell. I might use stronger words than that. I might even use stronger words than that. But for real, understand, I'm gonna tell you to get the hell out my face. Right? And I might use stronger words than that. You see? This is bigotry right here. This is how you know Christianity is bullshit. This Christianity that they preaches, this is how you know. Everybody look right there. Any Muslim out there thinking to join these guys, is this who you want to join? You want to join somebody who's making mockery, dressing up, putting on a costume like an Arab, with a fake bomb strap? That's who you want to join? That's the Christianity you want to join? I would hope not. I would hope any Muslim who's thinking about leaving Islam to join these jackasses. You a fool if you're going to join these stupid ass people like this, dressing up, making mockery and bigotry. As I said, if he dressed up like a Jew, it would be called anti-Semitism. If he was making fun of the Jews and he was dressed up like a rabbi and all that, it would be called anti-Semitism. If he dressed up like a black person with a some stereotypical black person with a big gold chain on and glasses and a big radio or something like that, it would be called racism and bigotry, right? You know it would. You know it would. Look at the jackass dressing up like an Arab trying to make fun of the Arabs. And this is how you want to invite people to Christianity? This is how you want to invite Muslims to Christianity? I swear to you, bro, if we see each other, do not come up to me. There will be no shaking of hands. There will be no what's up, bro. It'll be, yo, get the hell out of my face. And like I said, I might use stronger words than that. So if I'm ever in Phoenix again for another debate, don't even approach, Brother Shadi. Don't even approach me, bro. Just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Don't even approach. There will be no shaking hands. There will be no dap. Nope, none of that. Same thing for David Wood. Same thing for David Wood. Don't. We not speaking, bro. You guys are a bunch of punk ass bigots. You move from apologetics and debate and all that to academic debate to acting like immature children. Immature, racist ass, bigoted ass children. So we won't be cordial. When I see you, we will not be cordial. So better just to stay out of my way, because we will not be cordial. This type of bullshit right here is disrespectful. It's lame. You weak. And you're a damn bigot just the same. Right? So I just wanted y'all to see that. This is the stupid ass video that they made, putting on the costumes and everything. But so again, any Muslim out there, and most of the time it seems like it's a bunch of immigrant Muslims anyway who are leaving Islam. So if this is the type of stuff that makes you leave Islam because some dumb jackass bigot is dressing up, mocking your people, mocking your Arab culture, and that's who you want to join, you a fool. You a fool to want to join these dumbasses here. Fake ass, lame ass, wannabe rapper. No respect, bro. You get no respect. You get no respect. None whatsoever. Not that I ever had respect for you anyway, but for sure you get none. You get none. Racist ass bastard. So, just wanted y'all to see that and be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to be aware of that. All right, I will check that out. Be cool, Muhammad. Mahbub. Be cool, bro. Be cool. Be cool, man. Don't say stuff like that. You gotta contain. You gotta express it. Express your anger, but like I did, express it with a little bit of control. Don't let it rip, man. Don't let your anger, your words rip out too much. I can't let that comment go through, bro, because you're saying a little too much. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what's the name? Beat Besties, cool. I hope I said that right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These guys are grown men acting like, immature little high school kids. Right? Immature little high school kids. They remind me of the stupid ass white racist kids back in high school or when I was in school. You know what I'm saying? With the little racist jokes and shit. That's what these guys remind me of. Little punk ass bigots. Right? That's what they remind me of. Little dumb racist ass dummies back when we was in school. Making little racist jokes about black people or whatever or whoever. Right? That's what they're acting like. And then I seen in some of the videos, I remember I talked about this before. They got the little token black friend. The little token sellout black friend who goes along with the white boys making racist comments about his own people or mocking other people, right? Because he wants to be in the in crowd. If you watch some of the other videos, there's a black dude who hangs out with them. Dumbass coon. He's a coon, right? They got this one black dude who makes videos, who's seen in some of the videos making fun of the Muslims and the Arabs and all that stuff like that too, right? But I remember in school there were guys like that too. There was always the little coon, wannabe who tried to hang out with the white boys and laugh as they made jokes about black people or Latinos or whoever, laughing along with them, being the only dumbass coon pet black boy in the crowd, token black boy in the crowd, laughing, dumbasses. You know what I'm saying? So, I like I said, I just, that's the last thing I just wanted to touch on in conjunction with this subject here. But yeah, like I said, no respect for these dudes, man. No respect. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? We got to keep it on a higher level. I will never stoop to that level. I can't even see. I'm too mature, man. I'm too be dressing up. What the hell am I gonna do? Dress up like a white Christian preacher or priest to make mockery? I mean, come on. I'm trying to destroy these dudes with the facts. Hell with dressing up in costumes and acting like a dummy, trying to make mockery of the Christian. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. That's so childish and immature. So as I said, like I said, if I ever have a debate in Phoenix or again in vocab, you're there, or David, just don't say nothing to me. We not talking. We're not shaking hands. We're not doing none of that. So just keep it moving and stay out of my way. Stay out of my face. Stay out of my way. You're a bunch of punk racist bastards. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it with that. Don't forget to support your brother. You can use the links in the description of the video. There they go on the screen. Join our Patreon. Again, we're looking for 2 more people, right? We're looking for 2 more people. We got 8, where our goal is to reach 10. So we need just 2 more people to get our goal up to 10. 10 patrons, all right? But as I said, in the meantime, if you want to support us, if you want to make a one-time donation, or you don't want to become a patron, but you still want to support, utilize those other links that are available there. Inshallah. All right, so with that being said, we're going to close out. Let me see. Any last comments before we go? Well, bro, I mean, I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he can't take what you're saying to him. You know what I'm saying? He can't take what you're saying. So he blocks you, right? But the hell with him, man. The hell with these, man. The hell with these dudes, man. All right, brothers and sisters, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Assalamu alaikum. You have a good night or a good morning wherever you are in the world. Remember, also, make your voices heard as well. Please, make your voices heard as well. Speak out if that's the best if that's all you can do. Like the Prophet Muhammad said, when you see a wrong, change it with your hands. He said, if you can't do that, speak out against it. He said, if you can't speak out against it, then at least hate it in your heart. He said, that's the weakest of faith, but at least you're still doing something. If you can't speak out against it, then at least hate it in your heart. I don't have the power to change it with my hands, so I'll speak out against it. My voice is on the record. I'm on the record of speaking out against it. Speaking out against the treatment of those children at the border. All right? All right, inshallah, you guys have a good night. And like I said, make your voices heard on this subject and any other injustices that we see taking place in our country and your country and around the world. We have to speak out against it. We have to speak out against it, no matter who's doing it. All right. Assalamu alaikum. You guys have a good night.